So why Florida Polytechnic University? Some of the reasons are, yes, rankings. It is ranked in top 15 best affordable mechanical engineering degree programs. It is ranked number 1 in the US for lowest out-of-state tuition. It is ranked in top 75 engineering colleges without a doctorate degree. It is ranked among 5 best universities in the southern state for tech students. Third in the Florida university system for top performance at a low cost. ABET accreditations for 4 bachelor degree programs and state-of-the-art campus. So it is a really good option if a student is looking for a quality education at state-of-the-art campus, but with a pocket-friendly budget. These are a couple of testimonials from the students. Coming to the second university, we will be discussing is Concordia University, Chicago. In brief introduction on the university, it is a private not-for-profit university founded in 1864. So there is a lot of history. It has over 150 years of teaching experience. The campus is located in the leafy suburbs of Chicago. Concordia offers more than 170 internationally recognized UG and graduate programs. Student to faculty ratio is 12:1. We have 2 intakes, spring and fall. The programs are accredited by Higher Learning Commission. It is located in a city of Chicago, which is home to more than 30 Fortune 500 companies offering internship and job opportunities. We also have on-campus housing available for international students. As far as ranking is concerned, it is ranked in top 75 in regional universities Midwest, and it is ranked in top 50 in best value schools. As mentioned before, we have 2 intakes, spring and fall. Generally, spring intake, the start date is mid-January, and fall intake is last week of August. So this is the calendar. Now coming to the programs, there are around over 170 globally recognized undergraduate and graduate programs offered at Concordia University, Chicago. These are some of the popular programs among Indian students. For undergraduate programs, it is BS or BA in management, BS or BA in marketing, in sociology, in accounting, in sports management. When it comes to graduate programs, some of the popular programs are MBA, MBA in finance, in sports management, in digital marketing, and in computer science. The MS in computer science program offered at Concordia, it's a STEM program. Coming to tuition, for one academic year, undergraduate, the tuition fees is around $31,416, and for the graduate programs, it is $14,137. We have some scholarship that is offered for both undergraduate and graduate programs. For the undergraduate, student gets a scholarship of $8,000 per academic year. So the tuition after scholarship becomes $23,416. And for the graduate programs, we have a merit-based scholarship, which can be either 10 or 15% based on the GPA of the student after credential evaluations of the documents. So if a student has a GPA of 3.40 to 3.79, student gets 10% on tuition. And if the GPA is 3.80 or above, it is 15% on tuition. Now, why Concordia University? Now founded in 1864, it has, like I mentioned, over 150 years of teaching experience. So a lot of heritage, lot of history to the university. Also, it offers the over 170 programs, so students have a lot of options to choose from. It is located in the city of Chicago, which provides students endless opportunities for internships, jobs, social and cultural events. So it gives students an opportunity to have a very active campus life and also get the opportunity for networking as well. These are a couple of testimonials from the students. Now, coming to the requirements, for the Florida Polytechnic University, application form is online. There is an application fee of $30 for both undergraduate and graduate programs. The English test that is accepted at Florida Poly is TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo. The required TOEFL score minimum is 61, IELTS is 6, and Duolingo is 110. Academic requirements for undergraduate program, it is high school transcripts and SAT or ACT. And for the graduate program, bachelor's degree with GRE. The minimum GPA requirement for the undergraduate programs, we don't have any minimum GPA requirement as such. And the SAT score is 1220. ACT is 26 score. For the graduate, we require GRE if the GPA is below 3.25. Student needs to write one essay. We require 2 letters of recommendation for graduate programs. Coming to certificate of finance for the undergraduate program, it is $39,199. And for the graduate programs, it is $38,192. Passport. I-20 deposit is $200 non-refundable, and enrollment deposit is to be paid, fees for first semester, for semester 1 to be paid upon visa acceptance. Coming to Concordia University, Chicago, the application form is paper-based. There is no application fee for both undergrad and graduate program. And the English language test accepted at Concordia is TOEFL, IELTS. And we also have a GUS password test, which is accepted by Concordia. So if you have any students who have not given any English test or have not registered, students can always give the GUS password test. Academic requirement for undergraduate, high school transcripts, for the graduate bachelor's degree. GPA for undergraduate, we don't have any minimum GPA required criteria as such. For the graduate, it has to be 2.25 or above. A student needs to write one essay, 2 letters of recommendation for graduate program, certificate of finance. Undergraduate, it is $43,525, and for the graduate, it's same $43,525. Passport. I-20 deposit is $100 non-refundable. Enrollment deposit, fees for semester 1 upon visa acceptance. As I mentioned, Concordia accept GUS password test. Now this GUS password test is conducted by us. It's called as GUS International English Language Test. It is free for students applying to Concordia as part of the application fee. It's an online test, so student can take it anywhere. It is on the same line as IELTS, so no additional preparation or anything required for the same. The test it takes 3 hours, so student can register for the same. The GUS invigilator schedules and provides the test, and student gets the results in 2 to 5 working days. Thank you so much. We are open to have questions from your side now.
Rupal, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, Deepraj.
So first question is about backlogs. Can you tell them, how many backlogs are accepted at Florida Poly and CUC?
Sure. So the first question is regarding the backlog. So basically question is share the eligibility criteria along with maximum backlogs. So maximum backlogs accepted for both the brands is 12. The second question is regarding gap years. Yes, gap years are accepted. USA does not restrict students to get back to school either for undergraduate or graduate. For both the programs, gap years are accepted. Is without IELTS possible? So as I mentioned, if your student has not given IELTS or TOEFL, a student can always give the GUS password test if he is looking at Concordia. For Florida Poly, a student will require to give either IELTS or TOEFL.
Rupal, the other question is on stay back.
Okay, one second, I'm not able to see that on my screen. Deepraj, would you like to take that question?
Yeah, sure, Rupal. So team, the thing is this, I'm sure you must be knowing about STEM versus non-STEM programs, right? So STEM programs allows a student of up to 3 years of OPT time, and to non-STEM students up to 1 year of OPT time. So stay back option is either 1 year or 3 years, depending on the program choice, whether it is STEM or non-STEM program. But mind you, this is up to 3 years or up to 1 year. It can be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, depends on the employer.
Okay, the question on any age limit, see, there is no age limit to apply to any of our programs, be it undergraduate or graduate, because US as a nation, as a study destination, accepts gap years.
Just to add to Rupal's statement, so what these universities are also they also require is a CV. So if you're sending in a CV, like that will answer like most of the questions on gap year. So send a CV which is up to date, and universities will look at it and make a decision.
Okay, so we have question from Asma. Hi, both universities, how many backlogs will be accepted for MS in cybersecurity? It is 12 backlogs, Asma. Then we have a question on turnaround time for offer letter and I-20. Deepraj, would you like to take that question?
Sure, Rupal. So for CUC and Florida Poly, now, like there are a lot of documentations that are required for both these brands. There are several things that one has to complete. Now, once we get all these documents, we then send it to a third-party evaluator. So that is on our own cost. For Florida Poly, we follow AES, which is just like a company like WES. So the company is called AES that we send our documents to. For CUC, we send it to either NARIC or to Spantran, depending on whether it's a UG or a PG applicant. So once the document is complete, once we receive a feedback from the credential evaluator, then we will send all the documents to the partner university. Now, once we send it to the partner university, after all the process is complete, it's going to be 7 to 10 working days to get a decision from CUC or Florida Poly.
Yeah, and Deepraj, we want to mention here that they don't need to go outside for the credential evaluation. We will be giving them that support.
That's great, Rupal. So, everyone who is attending this session, make it clear that CUC and FPU do require credential evaluations. All right. So if a student already has credential evaluation report like WES, you can submit along with the application. If they do not have, then what you do is you just send the application to us. We will get it done for free. So we have agreements with AES. We have agreements with Spantran, NARIC. We can get it done for free for the student. Great point, Rupal.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepraj. The next question is Binu, duration of the graduation and undergraduate courses. The duration of graduate courses is 2 years and undergraduate is 4 years. The other question that we have is, can you share the percentage success without IELTS or with GUS password test? Well, to answer this question, as I mentioned, Concordia accepts the GUS password test. So there is no difference when it comes to the percentage success, whether the student is applying with IELTS or with GUS password test. Then we have a question, 3-year gap will be accepted after 12 completed in year 2018. Yes, however, for a gap year of 3 years, yes, there is no criteria as such that, you know, we don't accept or anything, but yes, it is always good that student is able to justify gap. It increases their chances for the admit. Concordia University accepted without IELTS. So we require an English language test, but like I said, if the student has not given IELTS or TOEFL, student can always give our GUS password test, which again is free for students applying to Concordia. So student can always give that GUS password test. Then we have a question, is there
just to add to
yes,
Rupal, just a second. So just to add to Rupal's comment, so CUC also accepts an MOI letter. So if a student does not have IELTS or TOEFL and doesn't want to give a password test, they can submit an MOI letter at CUC.
Deepraj, should we, explain a bit in brief what is MOI letter and what we would expect in that letter?
Yeah, sure. So so MOI letter is just a letter from the institution stating that everything was taught in English. So it has to come in a letterhead or, like an email from the school. So it can be anything of that sort. And, it has to be signed by a higher authority at the university or at the school.
Then the next question we have is there any interview for admission to the universities? No, there is no interview round. Then the question is Duolingo accepted? At Florida Poly, yes, Duolingo is accepted. Then the next question we have, if a student has work experience, can he get admission on MOI basis and get IELTS waiver for masters, both STEM and non-STEM? Okay, so I believe this question is that if student is not a recent graduate and is applying after, say, 3 to 4 years after graduation. Am I correct, Nikunj? Am I getting your question right? I believe so. So, Deepraj, what do you think? If a student is not a fresh graduate and is, past his graduation and applying after 3 years or so, will we still be able to give the IELTS exemption on MOI basis?
Yeah, so, there has been no clear outline from either universities, CUC or Florida Poly. So they have told us that, it doesn't matter if it is over 2 years. You submit the MOI letter and it can be done. Now, if in case, the university feels that if, an interview is to be taken, then an interview will be done. Otherwise, students are free to submit an MOI letter, even if they have graduated years ago.
Okay, thank you so much, Deepraj.
Sure.
Can you please share the entry requirements and deadline PPT with us? Sure, Ashma, we will be sharing it with Abcodo team. And Abcodo team, can I request to forward this presentation with Asma Mohammed? So Asma, you can get in touch with Abcodo team and they will be happy to share the PPT with you.
Sure, Rupal, we'll do that.
Thank you, Adelina. We have a question from Anish. What will be processing time? So Anish, I believe your question is for offer letter and I-20? I think we took that question. Would you like us to reply back? Deepa, should we just repeat the turnaround time question?
Yeah, let's do that. So turnaround time is depends on like the application coming in. So we have a few processes before that. So first of all, you send in an application, and then like we look at all the documents that have come in. Now, if all the documents are in order, we send the entire file to a credential evaluator. So we have tie-ups with AES, and we have tie-ups with Spantran and NARIC. So Florida Poly and CUC requires a statement from external credential evaluator on the credential that has been submitted. All right, so we do this tie-up and we get the credential evaluation done for free. Now, if, for example, all the documents have come in, credential evaluation has been done, when all these things are complete, we then share the entire file along with the certificate to the partner university. Now, partner university may take from 7 to 10 working days to share an I-20 with you, or an admit or an I-20. All right. So that is the turnaround time.
So then we have a question from Nikunj. Is if you have management information system course STEM version. So what Nikunj we can do is we have shared the complete list of programs with the team of Abcodo. So maybe Athena, if you can share that list with Nikunj Sharma. And to answer your question now, so at Concordia, we have only one program that is STEM, which is Masters in Computer Science. And at Florida Polytechnic, all the programs that are offered are STEM programs. Then the next question that we have is NIOS or distance education acceptable? Pooja, yes, we accept NIOS and distance education from a university which is recognized by UGC. So if the university is properly recognized and has all the required accreditations here in India, we accept the university. We accept the distance education degree as well. Deepraj, would you like to comment anything on that?
Yeah, so AICTE is also accepted. So any distance education, university or an institute should be either UGC or AICTE approved. Then it won't be any problem.
What about the creditability interview? Jaswir, at what stage are we talking about when it comes to creditability interview?
I think, Rupal, I spoke about this English language test, right? So, so MOI, if it is, if the student has graduated long time ago and is submitting an MOI letter, so if the university feels that an MOI, such a student needs to be interviewed to check their language, skills, then that such kind of an interview may be scheduled. But as of now, I have not seen any interview being scheduled. Students have graduated as late as 2013, 2012. They have submitted an MOI letter and they have gone to the university. So there isn't any problem.
Then we have a question from Pooja. Is extended degrees acceptable? Pooja, can I request you to elaborate on this question a little? We will wait for your question on the chat box. I will move ahead with the next question. Student can take a private. So we have on-campus housing available for international students. However, student can also take their own accommodation. So student has a choice. Then we have a question, any work experience required for MBA in Concordia University? No, even a fresher can apply. However, Concordia requires minimum 16 years of education. So if a student has 16 years of education, he can apply to Concordia. No work experience is required. Duration of course for UG programs is 4 years, and for the PG, that is graduate programs, is 2 years. What about the visa rejection case? Deepraj, would you like to comment on this question?
Sure. So visa is something which is, giving us a lot of hope. So as of July 2021, 31,567 visas were issued just in 1 month from India. So I'm not too worried about visas now. Students just have to be honest, present their case, and they should be going to the US for the right reason, that is to study, and that it shouldn't be a big problem. So as of fall 2021, about 55,000 F1 visas were issued from India. So I don't think so it'll be a big problem for our brands as well.
I think, Rakesh, if I am correct, what you're trying to ask is if student has a visa rejection, can he or she apply again? I think that is where Rakesh's question is coming from, Deepraj.
They can apply again, yes, not a problem. So students can apply as many number of times as possible, but they have to bring in something different from the last interview.
Thank you, Deepraj. Is PTE also accepted? Jasveer, no. At Florida Poly, we accept 3 English language tests, that is IELTS, TOEFL, and Duolingo. At Concordia, we accept IELTS, TOEFL, and GUS password test. From Pooja, we have a question. What is the fees of West Credential Evaluation? So Pooja, we don't charge students who is applying either to Florida Poly or Concordia. We don't charge any fees for credential evaluation. You send us the application via Abcodo, and we get it done free for the applicant.
Yeah, just FYI, Pooja, the West evaluation will cost somewhere around $300 to $350. So that entire expense is being paid by my company or our company in Uni.
Yes. So outside, if you go outside to get the West Credential Evaluation done, it will cost you around $300 to $350. But if you apply to Concordia or Florida Poly, we in Uni from our end gets the credential evaluation done. So for applicants, it becomes free. We have tie-up with the entity who does this evaluation, and in Uni pays for it on behalf of the student. So for student, it becomes free. Then we have a question. Some universities in USA are accepting expired IELTS result because due to COVID, student unable to take admission. So I don't think so. We accept an expired IELTS results at either of our universities. However, you have alternative solutions like GUS password test or MOI for Concordia University. Is that correct, Deepraj?
That's correct, Rupal. So there are a lot of options that students can choose. So, but we do not accept expired test results.
Yes, so there are a couple of requests for the presentation. So we will be sharing this presentation with Abcodo's team. Kindly, Abcodo team requests to share this presentation with all the attendees, and all the participants request to all of you to get in touch with Abcodo's team and they can share the presentation with you. IELTS time extended for 3 years. So like I said, our IELTS is 2 years is what we are considering. Validity of IELTS is 2 years. However, like we mentioned before, students have many options. If they don't have an valid IELTS or TOEFL, they can always give the GUS password test, which is free for the students. They don't have to pay anything, or they can go for MOI. Okay, Asma, yeah, so that is the question. We don't accept expired English language test scores. The validity of those test scores are 2 years. However, we have other options like GUS password test, which is free for the students if they are applying to Concordia, or student can also get an exemption if they can submit a proper MOI from their school or college. Is MOI accepted by both graduate and undergraduate program for both universities? I got little bit confused. Yes, MOI is accepted for both graduate and undergraduate program at Concordia. Dipraj, are we accepting it at Florida as well, Florida Poly?
Yes, yes. So MOI is accepted at both universities, both at UG and graduate level.
Thank you, Dipraj. How much is the initial deposit? So Nikunj, I-20 deposit at, so I-20 deposit for Florida Poly is $200 non-refundable, and for Concordia it is $100 non-refundable. The enrollment deposit, it depends on the program and the university. However, it is to be paid, the enrollment deposit fees for semester 1 is to be paid upon visa acceptance. I believe it is, the deadline is before you are registering on campus. Is that correct, Deepraj?
So it is 1 week after the visa acceptance.
And how much is the initial deposit? It depends on the program and the university.
Right, right. So it is usually for the first semester at both the universities. And once the visa is stamped, then you can count 1 day, 1 week, and get the deposits done to the university.
I would also like to get a list of STEM assigned programs. Sure, Aparajita. We will share the Excel file which has list of programs offered both at Florida Poly and Concordia University with the Abcodo team, and they will share it with you. Also, just to answer your question, all the programs offered at Florida Polytechnic universities are STEM programs. And at Concordia University, as of now, there is only one STEM assigned program, which is Masters in Computer Science. Rest are all non-STEM programs at Concordia as of now. Then we have a question, will you be able to consider 14 backlogs? Well, there is no black and white answer to this question, Karnakar. What I would suggest is, for such borderline cases, like maximum backlogs that we offer is 12. However, for a borderline case, like say 13 or 14 backlogs, what I would advise you is to submit the application. And then I think the admission team at the university will take a call looking at the overall profile of the student. It also depends which program he or she is applying to, whether it's it depends on that, and accordingly admission team will look at the overall profile of the student. Will you accept distance education or open schooling? So Kanwar, yes. However, like I said, the university that has say, suppose for example, student has done his distance education from XYZ university. That university needs to have a proper recognitions and approvals here in India. So it needs to have an UGC recognition or an AICTE approval. So if the university has all the required approvals and recognitions here in India, we do accept distance education degrees. Coming to open schooling, it's the same. Say, for example, NIOS, we accept NIOS, but some other boards, we will have to look into what are their recognitions here in India. Nehal, we have a question from Nehal. I have a query for a student who has completed her MSc in Applied Science and wants to study further. Can any of these organizations offer her any course? Yeah, so applied sciences, Nehal, it really depends on what the student wants to do further. So yes, she has done her MSc in applied science, but what is her future plans? What are her career aspirations? So we have, like, between both the universities, we have a lot of options for the students. So I am sure, depending on what she wants to do or what she wants to study or in what she wants to have a career basis on that, I'm sure we can offer her the program. But for that, we need some, feedback with regards to what is the profile of the student and what she wants to do. So that's there. However, we will be sharing the list of programs with you all. Moving to next question, extended degree means if a degree in India completed in 5 to 6 years instead of normal duration of 3 years. So Pooja, I believe the reason for that, a degree which is a 3-year degree and a student took 5 to 6 years to complete, there can be two reasons. One, either he or she took a gap year or he or she had backlogs. In both the cases, that's okay. US accepts gap years, and also we accept backlog. However, again, there is no black or white answer for this, but generally speaking, yes, it should be okay if student is able to, one, justify the gap, and as far as backlogs are concerned, maximum backlogs that we accept is 12. If a student has, so we have a question from Nikunj, if a student has done 2 years diploma after 10th, can he still apply? And again, MOI will be accepted as with such cases. Yes, student can apply for any bachelor's degree on the basis of his class 12th or equivalent. After class 10th. No, I believe student needs to have completed his high school to apply for the bachelor's. Deepraj, do we have any special criteria where we can apply students with 10th and 2 years diploma? Nikunj, I think I'm not very clear with your question. When you say 2 years diploma, is it completing his high school diploma or some other diploma that he has done? If a student has 2 years diploma. So this 2 years diploma, what is it? Is it his high school diploma after 10th, or he has done some diploma in some other field? If you can put that in a chat box, maybe we can answer this question. Work experience required for MBA or not? No work experience required, Pooja. However, at Concordia, the minimum academic years is 16 years of education.
The best part is no GRE, no GMAT at CUC for MBA program.
Okay. So then we have some questions in the, okay, one sec. We have a question from Nehal Shah. I have a query for a student wants to study further. Okay, I think we took that question. Student got refused from Canada 3 times, now just want to apply for USA. So I think I will request Deepraj to answer this question. Deepraj, student has refused Canada visa 3 times.
Mm-hmm. So it's a difficult situation. Like if a country rejects, they must have had good reasons of rejecting the student for a visa. US also looks at these, these cases. A student can surely go for an interview, present his case, and then explain why he was rejected or what happened. So if the visa officer is convinced, then a visa can be granted. But yes, there will be a scrutiny on why a student was denied by other country for sure.
Great. Thank you, Deepraj. Okay. Maximum percentage required for both universities. This is a question from Rajan. So for the Florida Poly, for the undergraduate, we don't have any minimum requirement as such. For the graduate, if the GPA of the student is below 3.25, we request them for GRE score. And at the Concordia, for the undergraduate, again, there is no minimum GPA requirement. For the graduate program, it is 2.25 or above. Then what is the possibility for post-study work permit? Deepraj, would you like to comment or take this question?
Sure. So this is US plays it very differently than other countries. So they offer something to every international student, which is called optional practical training, or OPT. So this OPT period for non-STEM graduates is 1 year. For graduate students, it is again, for STEM students, it is again 1 year, but can be extended up to 24 months. Okay, so if a student is from science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, they can expect a longer duration of a stay back option following OPT, optional practical training. If they are from non-STEM background, then they can expect a stay back of up to 12 months.
Okay, thank you, Deepraj. Moving on to next question, we have, can student get ESL instead of IELTS? No, Manamya, either student requires any one of the accepted English language test, or student can request for exemption on the basis of MOI. So Nikunj, hi Rupal, in continuation to my question, for a student who has diploma after 10th, say 2-year diploma in engineering. Nikunj, for the bachelor's program, we require class 12th or equivalent for student to apply. Deepraj, do we have any special eligibility criteria if, say, student is applying to engineering program but does not have the 2 years high school diploma?
Right. So this is allowed, like students from India, they go to Polytechnic courses or programs in India. So that is not a big problem. So 10+2 in a Polytechnic school is okay.
Nikunj, but student should have completed that diploma. So if he has taken a Polytechnic diploma of, say, more than 2 years and he has just done 2 years, then I believe, Deepraj, that will be difficult, right?
No. So this is different, Rupal. So in India, we have this ITIs, Institute of Technical Education. So they offer these Polytechnic diplomas to students after class 10. So students, they can go in, like it doesn't matter. So again, at MOI accepted, yes, they can be accepted, but it has to come from the Polytechnic school in India, not from the school which the student last attended.
Okay, so Nikunj, to answer both your question and Maniyamma, your question, students who have done their 12th and who have done their class 10th, and after that they have done any diploma in engineering, yes, they can apply to the bachelor's program at Florida Poly, and the MOI has to be from the institute from where they have done their diploma in engineering. Okay, coming to the next question, Kiran, student completed MBA from India. Can he opt another MBA, or can you suggest a course? Yes, Kiran, a student can definitely apply for another MBA. Maybe he or she can select some different specialization. So here, if suppose she has done her MBA in marketing, then she can apply for an MBA which is in some other concentration, or she can also apply to some other STEM program, which is, like a career changing program, but she can definitely apply. Well, when it comes to suggesting a course, like I answered to one of the questions before, it really depends on what student wants to do. So, what are her thoughts or her career aspirations? Depending on that, we can suggest what course she can apply for, she should look at. Then we have a question from Maniyamma. Visa success ratio for both universities. I think I would request Deepraj to take this question.
Yeah, sure. Both these universities are one of the top tier universities in the US. So there are over 4,500 universities in the US. Florida Poly is among the top 100, and CUC is probably among the top 200. So, we have seen students go from India to these schools. They have not been stopped unless and otherwise, like the interview went really wrong. So it depends, like on student, how they perform at these interviews, how they are paying for their education, why they have chosen this particular university. All these answers have to be satisfactory to the visa officer. So as a university, student can choose any 4,500 universities that are there in the US for a study program. We are no exceptions, but like how the interview goes, how the conversation happens at the visa office, a lot depends on, on that. So it's not the school per se, it's on the visa interview.
Okay, coming to the next question, does a student with 3 years BS in biotechnology opt for MSc in biotechnology? Well, Concordia requires 16 years of education. Florida Poly, Deepraj, for Florida Poly, do we accept 15 years?
Yes, we do. So 15 years is accepted at Florida Poly, 16 years at CUC.
So any student with 12 plus 3 can apply to Florida Poly, because Florida Poly, we accept 15 years of education. Concordia, however, requires minimum 16 years of education. Then we have a question, what is the lowest Duolingo score acceptable for both university for UG? Okay, now coming to this question, Duolingo is accepted only at Florida Poly and minimum required score is 110. Concordia does not accept Duolingo. However, like we mentioned before, if student doesn't want to give IELTS, student can always give our GUS password test, which is again free for the student applying to Concordia. The GUS password test is accepted by Concordia. Any more questions? Adina, one request, I will share the presentation and the list of programs at both offered at both the universities. Also some, some marketing material like mini brochures, soft copy of mini brochures and everything. Can I request you to share this with all the attendees here?
Sure, definitely, I'll do that.
Thank you so much. And all the participants, thank you so much. It was a great session, a really interactive session. And kindly get in touch with Abcodo's team to have all this material sent to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Rupal, for such wonderful presentation and answering so many of our questions. And so may today's learning be something that inspires your desire to navigate the recruiting of foreign students with technological tools and resources. Thank you everyone for their invaluable time in our webinar. Hopefully this webinar has given us a better understanding of Concordia University, Chicago and Florida Polytechnic University as an institution of choice. We will catch up with you in another institutional webinar very soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Just one last thing. Both me and Deepraj would like to invite you for another session that we are having with Abcodo on Monday, which is for our third university, that is Webster University. We would love to have you all for that session as well.
Right. And we have already shared the link to register in the chat box. I hope you guys have received it. Kindly register and see you in the next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Abcodo.